Today we're going to talk about the Bantam Medium and the new Supine bypass Mechlock system. Now, you're going to know if this affects your EasyStand Bantam Medium by the position of the controller. The controller on the new system is mounted horizontally on the left side on the back of the unit. Previously, the controller was mounted on the right side vertically on the back. This affects the unit starting in about November 2017. There are three modes in the Bantam Medium: sit-to-stand, neutral, and supine. I'm briefly going to review each one. The first one is sit-to-stand. When the controller is set into sit-to-stand, the unit functions like a normal EasyStand, going from sitting to standing and all the way to full vertical upright standing. Now when I want to go down, I just push the pump handle backwards and the unit comes down from standing to sitting. The next mode is the neutral position. The neutral position is right in the middle between sit to stand. When the unit's in neutral, you can push on the back, or if there's any pressure against the back, the feet elevate, and you can use an intermediate position like this to transfer in, or you might have it for a resting position or to accommodate a contracture. Now you don't want to leave the unit in the neutral position while somebody's in it, because if it is left in neutral and it's not locked in supine or sit to stand, what happens is if you have too much pressure on the back, it'll just continue to recline. So if you find that happening, just make sure you brace it a little bit, lock it in supine, and when you lock it in supine, it won't move anymore. When the unit's in supine, it'll go from sitting to standing, but the hips and the knees don't move. So you'll notice that those are locked out, and I can continue in supine all the way until my feet come flat to the floor. Now what's new with the Mechlock bypass system is as soon as my foot bracket comes parallel to the floor, that engages the Supine Mechlock bypass system, and what that does is it allows the unit to continue to go up to standing, and the hips and the knees start to move now again. Now, if I come back down, the unit may come back down and sit to stand instead of supine. If you don't want this to happen and you want it to come down in supine, what you need to do is pull on the back and maybe just get yourself positioned to pull on the back. And if you pull from the back, you will disengage the Supine Mechlock bypass system and you'll be able to come back down in supine. Okay, so when you stand behind the unit and look at under the seat, this mechanism here is the Mechlock bypass system. So this is the Mechlock up here, there's a cable running to that. This is a cable running from your controller into the Mechlock bypass system. Now this system is engaged when the unit is in supine, so you'll see a little tab here that's out. That means the unit's in supine. I'm going to just change that, the unit on the controller, to sit to stand, and you'll notice this little tab recedes and comes in. That's in sit to stand, but when I put it in supine, it extends there. Now, to put it back into sit to stand, what happens here is you'll notice this little bolt comes in, engages that tab, pushes it in, and now we've engaged the bypass system. So, if I continue to pump, even though the unit's in supine, the seat will go up to standing. Now, when I come back down, what happens is that thing has to disengage and let that tab come out. And until it does, it's going to come down and sit to stand. So the unit's in supine. If I have weight in the foot plates or on the tray, it's going to come down and sit to stand no matter what. So what you need to do is pull on the back and let it down, and it should come down in supine. Now you might not be able to pull on the back with enough force or strength, depending on how heavy the person is. So it might just come down a little bit, and then you pull on the back. Now you see that I've lost full hip extension in the hips and knees at that point. So to correct that, once I've disengaged the Supine Mechlock, I can just put it back in neutral. Once it's in neutral, I can just extend again all the way to full extension in the hips and knees, lock it back in supine, and then I can come back to the position that I want. So if it's just 5 or 10 or 15 degrees short of full upright, I can maintain my full hip extension and knee extension. If I change the unit from supine mode and I want to go back to sit to stand mode, and I'm somewhere in between. When I change the unit to sit to stand mode, it actually is still in neutral mode, and this will move back and forth. Now, to have it finish locking into the sit to stand mode, I need to bring my foot bracket vertical to the floor and listen for the clicking sound. When you hear that clicking sound, it's been locked into sit to stand mode, and now it's going to continue in sit to stand mode.